How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to be talking about The Brutalist. I went to go watch it recently, and I just gotta talk a bit about it. Obviously, I am going to be watching. I'm trying to watch all of the Oscar movies, but if I can't watch all of the Oscar movies, then there's probably a reason for that. Timing could be a thing. Maybe I don't have access to them. It could be a lot of different things. But let's talk about The Brutalist because that's what you're here to watch, because that's the title that you saw and probably the picture that you saw. So, The Brutalist, for me, it wasn't the best movie. And that being, I do like dramas, but I like dramas that have a story that follow a specific character arc and stuff like that. And I didn't really feel that from this movie. Obviously, I'm going to be trying not to get into spoilers. I want everyone to go watch it with an open mind. But that is something that I saw. Like, I didn't feel like the characters arced in the way that they should have, or a way that would have been satisfying and meaningful to the story. That being said, I do think that the actors acted great. They did what they could. They had a brilliant performance where it needed to be. I didn't find the story to be as compelling. Obviously, maybe spoilers don't really matter because the story wasn't really too out there. Like, there wasn't many twists and turns. You didn't really think too much about what happened in the story. And for me, I didn't really feel like I cared too much about the characters. I cared about one or two, but our protagonist, it felt a bit shitty at times, and most likely very shitty throughout the story. I didn't really feel like he got any better. If anything, I think that he got worse, and then they cheaped out at the end of the movie, making him better. It didn't follow a direct arc that needed to be followed. It more just kind of jumped around in places where it needed to jump. The movie itself is 3 hours and a half long. So basically, divide that how you want. That is still 3 hours and a half of your life that you are going to have to waste to watch this movie. That there's not really too much happening. You have the movie and you feel like you are at the beginning, at the end. Well, at the end, there is this whole different story, but you don't really feel like there's been a lot of maturity from our protagonist. Maybe from our secondary protagonist, which I would consider to be his wife. Maybe she does have a better arc, and I would kind of agree with that. But the movie in itself, I didn't feel like it had any meaningful arc that would cause it to be a great movie. I think the acting is great. I need to watch the other movies to actually be able to compare it when it comes to the acting. But the movie just felt bland to me, and maybe that's just something that happened to me because I tend to like a bit flashier movies. I tend to like a bit more. They showed a lot of emotion. I won't go too much into the depth of their acting because they did it great. It was a phenomenal movie when you look at the acting, but the story wasn't one that I like. It's a post-war movie. He's an immigrant that comes to America, starting a new life, and so there's a lot of things that happen there that just leave me a bit confused because a lot of the characters lie about certain things. They do certain things that don't really make any sense, and so when I take that into consideration, the movie to me just feels a bit weird, and I wouldn't have taken it in the direction that it was taken. That's not to say it's a bad movie. Everyone has their own taste, and just because this is my opinion doesn't mean it has to be yours. So I definitely want to hear what you guys thought about The Brutalist in the comments. For me, it just wasn't that positive of a movie. Also, another thing that I saw during the movie was the fact that they have a 15-minute intermission in the middle of the movie. That shouldn't really be a spoiler because, I mean, if it is, you're kind of crazy. But there's a 15-minute break in the middle where you could go to the restroom, and that's really weird to see. I've only seen that in one or two other movies that I've watched, and I wasn't really expecting it. It caught me off guard, but the movie is divided into parts. Part 1, Part 2, and then the epilogue. The reason why they do it like that is weird to me. At the beginning, they're telling one story. Then in the second part, they're trying to tell a different story. But then it kind of goes back to the first part. And so it's this weird blend of a movie that I feel like they try to move ahead along with the movie, but they didn't do it properly. That's obviously my opinion. I would love to hear what you guys think. But yeah, for me, the movie just fell a bit flat. The acting was great, so hopefully, if I don't think that the acting in other movies is similar, this one will definitely stand out a bit more. I still have to watch a lot more movies, but right now I just wanted to talk about The Brutalist because I am going to be watching all the Oscar nominated movies, or at least trying to, and I will be rating them in comparison to each other, and by the end of it, I will hopefully have a video that says which one I think should win this category, that category. So yeah, definitely go watch The Brutalist because my taste might not be your taste. I'm a bit more flashy, and I like the characters. I like the character and the story to be drawn out a bit more. 3 hours and a half was a bit too long, and I was honestly waiting for the end. The movie just at the beginning, I was really excited for it. A few scenes in, I started to see that this movie was gonna take a while. Not a few scenes in, probably like at like Act 2. I probably thought that the movie was like this is gonna be a long ass movie, and it definitely overstayed its welcome for me. So yeah, with that being said, have a great rest of your day. Definitely watch the movie if you have the chance. Make your own opinion. Watch the Oscars, knowing most of the movies, and say what you think. So definitely down in the comments if you've watched it or will watch it, tell me down below. I'll be reading all of those and responding to those which I can. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.